Hello viewers, in today's session we will cover one functional topic, and that topic is also a very useful topic when in the industry you want to basically pay or receive the amounts or payments in installments. So there is one feature in D365 that is called payment schedule feature, where you can split your payments, whether it is on receivable side or it is on payable side. You can split it into different installments. So we will start with basic definition, what is basically a payment schedule, and then terms of payment that are basically linked with the payment schedule. So how that can be linked. Then payment schedule with different schemes means they can be fixed quantities, amount, custom or specified, or on totals. So there are different approaches how you can use payment schedule, and then how automatically you can define payment schedule on vendors or customer master records, so that whenever you create purchase order from a specific vendor or a sales order from a customer, so automatically the values for the payment schedule are defaulted. Then we have also the manual options. Manual means when you don't define payment schedule on the master side, customer master or vendor master, so you can also define manually for each purchase order or sales order, or can be invoice journal on payable side, or free text invoice, or even the settlement form where you settle an invoice with payment. Then ultimately we will also follow a demonstration. Okay, so what is basically payment schedule? So payment schedule is, simply put, payments are split into multiple installments. So this is very much useful on industry side when you basically purchase some machineries, or maybe some equipment, or maybe you buy the cars, or maybe on the other end you sell the cars, or sell the machinery or buildings, and you have agreed with your party can be a vendor or customers on payable or receivable side, that this can be done in the form of installments. So how it can be achieved? Basically percentage or amount wise also there is option. Proportions, like specific proportions you mention, okay, this is my 20%, then I have to pay you 30%, or receive 30%, and then ultimately 10%, 5%, whatever proportions you define. Then also it can be defined on quantities, like how many installments there will be for a specific amount, like 5, 10, 15, or it can be amounts also. Then when, basically how, when, and what forms. So basically when is when the due date for each installment will be calculated, how it will be calculated, and what forms, like checks, cash, bank transfers. So that is basically through terms of payment, because terms of payment is related with payment schedule. Both are linked. In terms of payment form you can link payment schedule. So we will see it later. Okay, seller or buyer expects reasonably for the payments on goods or services. That's why payment schedule is needed, or the installments are needed. When you, as a seller, you are selling something, and you expect from your customer that when I have sold you the goods or services, you can pay in whatever agreed amount, or whatever is your basically SOPs. So you can basically sold on those SOPs, or the payments, equal payments. Similarly, as a buyer, you can agree with the supplier that I am buying this much a valued machine or valued asset or something, then I need to pay with you because of keeping in mind my cash flow. I will not be able to pay immediately, so I will be splitting into different amounts. So also this is a very typical business in your industry, when you agreed on both hand side, like payable or receivable, to split the payments. So different ways to schedule the payments for both parties. So there can be very different ways in which you can schedule it. It can be equal, it can be unequal, specified amount, percentage amounts, like as I mentioned, and how it will be. So that is also possible. Payment frequency is main component for payment schedule, like how it will be paid. It can be monthly, it can be yearly, it can be quarterly, it can be on the day basis. So this is also the main component of payment schedule. Okay, so how to set up basically the payment schedule. So in D365 we have payable or receivable modules. In both modules you will find a group in the setups that is called payment setup. In that you will find a payment schedule link or page or menu item. There you can there you can click it and it will open a form. So basically allocation basis will be available in payment schedule. Those are like this: total. On total amount you can basically allocate, and then you can basically define fixed amount wise or maybe fixed quantity wise. So for example, there is a fixed amount $10,000 and you can split it in 1,000 each installment, so that there are 10 installments, or you can divide it by 10 quantity, so it will be also equal quantity. So changed by 1, so it means there will be 10 quantities, so it will be split into 1,000 each in the example of 10,000 total amount. So also specified means when you have a custom installment schedule, like the amounts are not matching and they are unproportionate, so then you can define specific amounts for each installments. So then payment per is basically a field where you select the timeline of the installment for the due amount. So there can be 3 options: days, months and years. So in this way you can define it. Okay, so then there is a field called change, which is used basically to set the frequencies of installment. That can be, for example, each 1 month, or if you say 6 months, so means bi-annually, that is also possible. Okay, so number of payment is used to define the number of installment for a due amount. So in this way you can define how many number of installments there will be by using the number of payments field. So it will be available when you select quantity as a method of allocation. Like here I have defined fixed quantity. Okay, amount in transaction currency is used if allocation basis is set to fixed. So here you can see fixed amount. When you select this allocation basis, then you can define amount in transaction currency. So certain fields are available when you select certain allocation basis. So then there is sales tax allocation is used to define the tax allocation basis. There are 3 options available: can be proportional, first installment and the last installment for the calculation of sales tax. Okay, then installment and flexible plan are also there are options for call center orders. Those are related with retail and commerce. So we will not be touching those options, but those are also available. Okay, then terms of payment with a payment schedule. So here you can see basically this is the terms of payment form. In terms of payment form, you can see there is option terms of payment schedule of 5 months. So then you have link here of payment schedule 5 months. So here the field is available in terms of payment where you can link the payment schedule with any of terms of payment. Okay, so this is the form of payment schedule itself. When you go to the payment schedule as I have defined in the navigation, so here you can see there is allocation basis in payment schedule that is available here as a fixed quantity is selected, and payment per month, and then change is 1 and number of payments 5. So it means each month I have to pay up till 5 months. So this will go for 5 months. Change means once. So if you put 3 in change, so it means after 3 months I have to pay my installment. So each 3 months I have to pay until 5 is reached, until there are 5 quarter, you can say. Okay, then here you can see terms of payment again, and here we have selected decline 6 monthly basis as a payment schedule. So here is a decline of 6 months, and here you can see we have selected allocation basis as a specified, that is custom made, and you can see change, number of payment, amount in transaction currency, minimum. These fields are all disabled. The only field enabled after you select specified is payment per month. you can define a day or year value also. Here you can see number of periods after due date is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there are 6 installment. So first one is 40%, and then you have to pay 20% and then 10% each. So it will total 100%. So there is an example when you basically need to pay a total amount of $5,000, you can say, and then you through the installment each of 500 USD. So payment schedule you can select in this way, payment schedule or the basis. You can select fixed amount, and description means the pay installment of 500 for total of 5,000. Payment per will be months, change will be 500, amount in transaction currency will be 5,000. So this is just an example how you can select different values. Okay, so now in the screen you can see these values as being set here. So you can see allocation basis fixed amount, and then payment per months, and change is 500 you need to pay for each installment, and amount total is 5,000. Okay, so this is an example, and here you can see the payment schedule for the total. And when you select the total allocation, there is no field here which you can basically select here. So it is all basically read only, you cannot change it. So it is on the basis of total amount. Okay, so now here it is defined like how we can define the payment schedule, that is indirectly. Indirectly you can select the terms of payment, and here payment schedule is not defined. So it means within the terms of payment you can define a payment schedule. So this is indirect selection of payment schedule. But this here you can see the vendor master form. In the vendor master form, if you define terms of payment, and within terms of payment you can define payment schedule, automatically this will be defaulted to purchase order or the documents created through using this vendor. So automatically it will be defaulted. So purchase order, and then subsequently vendor invoice, and you can say to the payment. Okay, then we have defined payment schedule on purchase order header. So there is an option where you define the payment schedule on the vendor, but if you don't define on the vendor, then also you have opportunity on the purchase order form itself that you can select the payment schedule here. So it will make you at ease if all the schemes every time for a specific vendor is the same, like certain number of installment or any of the allocation basis. So it is easy for you to define on vendor rather than each time whenever a purchase order is created. Okay, then you have a customer's form. On the customer's form also you have this field payment schedule as well as terms of payment. So directly you can define payment schedule, and if you want to define indirectly you can define it within the terms of payment itself. Okay, then on the customer document, that is sales order, you will see in the price and discount fast tab, here you can see in the header section that payment terms are defined, and also payment schedule field is available. Okay, here you will see an example of fixed quantity allocation. In the fixed quantity allocation, as the form is shown, we have here 5 number of payments with each month wise, and the allocation is based on the basis of fixed quantity. So in this case, when you apply this payment schedule on an amount of $5,000, so the due will be calculated. If the due date is 1st of January, so $1,000 on 1st of Feb, and 1st of March 1,000, and then 1,000 on 1st of April, 1,000 on 1st of May, and 1,000 on 1st of June. In this way it is split into 5 as a quantity, the amount of 5,000. So in this way you can define it on the equal amount basis or quantity basis, you can say. Okay, so there is another example of specified allocation when you have a custom definition, and you can define this custom definition percent or amount wise. Both fields, both of choices are available on each line. Here percent wise is defined. So an example, same example of $5,000. So 40,000 if the date is 1st of January. So 40,000, 40% of 5,000 will be $2,000, which will be due on 1st of Feb. Similarly, the second installment here you can see 20%. So 20% multiplied by $5,000 makes it $1,000 on 1st of March. And then it is 10%, means equally to the subsequent months. So 5,000, 10% of 5,000 is $500 on 1st of April, $500 on 1st of May, and 1st of June also 500, and 1st of July the last installment of $500. In this way, declining 6-month payment, but there are different percentages on first 2 months, and then equal, that is 10% in last 4 months. So then basically it is the same option here shown, like in terms of payment you can define payment schedule on terms of payment, like in this case it is 5 months equal option. So this will be basically in case of automatic you can map it to customer or vendor master. So apply the payment schedule here, like in on the vendor side, now it is shown as selected payment schedule directly, that is 5 months equal installments. Okay, so now we are here basically saying that purchase or sales order or invoice journal, free tax invoice, these options are available. So if you don't select it customer or vendor master, so then you can manually select on each of the documents. So it is shown here that on purchase order side it is payment schedule field is available. Okay, so then also on the vendor invoice journal side, that is payment schedule field also available, you can select it. Okay, then manual option again, and it is the payment schedule field on free tax invoice, the same field is available. Okay, then this is the settlement form, and this settlement form is available when from vendor or customer you can open the settlement form. From there you can open it, or from any invoice you can open, from any of the payment you can open the settlement form, and there you have the apply payment schedule option. Once you select the invoice and click on this payment schedule option, so the dialog box will give you the opportunity to define a starting point, that is the date, and the payment schedule lookup, where you can select any of the defined payment schedule like we have described earlier. Okay, and then once you select it, so in case here 12 months installments is selected, so you can see here 17th of July 2017 is the starting point. So once you select that starting point, so it divide it into 12 months equal amounts. So that starts from 17th of August after 1 month, and the and the percentage or amount lookup is showing amounts. So there is option of percentage. If you select that one, so it will give you the percentages. So this will divide it into 12 months equal amounts for the invoice amount of 9,989.76 cents. Okay, so this option, if even you don't select in any of the document, this option is available in the settlement form itself. Okay, so once you select OK, so it will be split like now in this way. The due dates are for each month is inserted with the amount available here, and so it has split it into 12 equal amounts installments in the settlement form. Okay, so now it's time for the demonstration. So we have 2 examples in this case, and the first example is of payable, when we need to buy a crane of USD 50,000 and that is bought from a supplier to pay the installments, like first installment 20,000, then 10, and then 5 each for the 4 last installments. And on the receivable side, we are selling a car basically to a customer with a sale value of 30,000, and we need to receive that in 3 months, 3 months equal installments. So these are 2 examples which we will now basically start. For this, we need to first define the payment terms. So for that, we will go to the first example, that is accounts payable side, And basically the payment schedule form is available, and the same form will show the same value on the both payable or receivable side. So in USMF company, which is the example company, so here I will define the first example, and that is basically USD 50,000, and that is, so for this, which one I will create here? So you can see there is option for allocation basis. One is total, fixed amount, fixed quantity, and specified. Based upon my slide, the explanation which I have given, which one should be selected here? So if you have said that it is specified, you are right. So because in this one we have not equal amount of installments, so amounts are different, so that's why we are selecting specified. Okay, but we need to basically pay on the month basis. So here you can see there is option of month basis, so I will select month, okay, and specified. So you can see in payment lines add and remove options are available. When you select specified, these options are available. Okay, so first of all, because these are 6 installments, so I will put an option of 6 months here, and in the description I can say this is 6 months installments, or 6 months. I can basically put these figures also if I want. So in this way, in the description I can describe it more easily, so that anybody who wants to use it, he can easily use it. Then I can click option add, and then number of period after due date is 1, and in percentage or amount I will select amount, and here I will select 20,000. Okay, so this, because this is 20,000 first, and then I have to select again amount, and that will be 10,000, and then I have to select third and amount, and that will be 5,000, and this 5,000 for the subsequent installments as well. Subsequent yeah, so 5,000, and also here amount will be, this will be amount. Okay, just save it. Okay, because I entered the percentage, so it is giving me error. I will control and refresh, so that is updated. Okay, now again fourth, and then I select amount first, and then paste here 5,000 value. Okay, then fifth also it should be amount, and again 5,000. Then also sixth is also amount and 5,000 in this way, and then I will sort it smallest to largest. You can see 20,000 first, then 10 and 5,000 each. So in this way I have defined my first case. So our second example, when a car is sold to a customer with the value of USD 30,000 with equal installment of 3 months, here I can define basically a payment schedule like this: 3 months and equal installments. Okay, here I can define it, for example, a fixed quantity, and then I can select a month value, and each of 1 month, and number of payments will be 3. So each month I will pay each month I will pay 1 installments. So number of payments, total number of payments will be 3. So the minimum here I can put like 1. Okay, so this is the payment terms which I have selected, and for this I will just select a fixed asset number to be disposed of. For this I will go to the account receivable side, and I will select a free text invoice to create basically a disposal sale transaction to a customer. For that I will create new invoice and select a customer account. Okay, after selecting customer account, here you can see terms of payment option is also available, but I will not use this one, and I will rather use payment schedule and 3 months equal installments here. Okay, then I can select my fixed asset number here. Okay, and then I can a little bit describe here, sold on 3 installments, as a description that what I'm doing. Basically I'm selling it, and the amount will be 30,000 equal installments. And then you can see through payment schedule option at the top that now it has basically calculated the due date on the basis of equal installments of 3 months. Each month you have to pay 10,000. In this way we have basically define our free tax invoice, and then definitely you need to post the invoice after checking the totals. Total is $30,000, and you can just post it. Okay, after posting you can view the document. Okay, in the document you can also see here the due date is calculated. So this is 11th of June, and then as 11th of July and 11th of August equal installments. So this is also printed. And on the fixed asset balance side, if you refresh your report, so the here you will find that the vehicle has been disposed of. Here you can see semi trailer, and it is now marked as sold, and the issue amount is shown here as 30,000. Okay, in the issue column you can see 30,000 is shown now. Okay, now to receive the payments you can go to the customer payment journal, and in customer payment journal you can create a new journal. Okay, then you can go to the lines, and you can select the customer to whom you have sold the vehicle. Okay, after this you can go to settle transaction. In the settle transaction you will find your equal installments, these 3 options. So accordingly, as per the due date, you can receive basically the payments from the customer. Okay, so you just select it and the payments will be selected as per the due date. Okay, so this was the receivable side. What about the payable side? So for the payable side also you can use invoice journal. If you want, you can use invoice journal, or if you want, you can go to the purchase order directly. So that example is the first one, when we have defined these different as per the basis of specified. So I will create a new purchase order, and I will select any of vendor for the sake of demonstration. Okay, then you can just click OK. Okay, so we are here, and now you can see you can go to the header. Okay, in the header you have price and discount. Here you will find terms of payment. By default it is selected. I will remove it. I will remove cash discount and payment schedule. I need to find the 6 months installments which we have defined, 20,000 and 10 and 5,000 for the remaining installments. Okay, this I have selected. Then I can go to the line. In the line, basically I will select here a procurement category. Okay, so in the procurement category, because this is a crane which is I'm buying on USD 50,000, so I will put in basically maybe on the vehicle. Okay, so here the procurement category I have selected. I will not be selecting any items, so I don't need to define the warehouses. Okay, so after defining a procurement category, I must go to the fixed asset and select a new fixed asset and a group of fixed asset which will be machinery and equipment. Okay, so in this way, and then the total amount, which is how much? 50,000 USD. So this I need to define in the unit price. Per unit price, this 50,000, and this is each, and quantity is 1. So this will give me a net amount of 50,000, and then I have selected already the payment schedule in in the price and discount, I have selected 6-month payment schedule. Okay, so then I need to go to totals and check my amount here. This is must whenever you post any invoice or receiving it, so it is must. So then I should go to the purchase action pen, and then to confirm purchase order I will click the confirm option. Okay, so once it is confirmed, I will go directly to the invoice. So while doing invoice, definitely you can also receive it, but I will directly go to the invoice. So invoice means receiving as well as physically and financially. So in this case, because I am creating an asset, so there is no inventory being received here. Okay, so once I am invoice form, I can put an invoice number which I must have been have received from the supplier, and invoice receive date, posting date is by default selected. So here I must choose default from order quantity, because I am not receiving is as a product received. So I must select order quantity, which will default my quantity from purchase order itself. So there is only one quantity, so it is there. Okay, so I will update match status. Okay, so it is passed, and then I should also check the totals here, which is 50,000. That's okay. Okay, and then just check header. Okay, here you can see in the payment fast tab, you can see 6 months payment schedule is selected. So after this I will just post it. Okay, so the invoice is posted, and now what I will do is go to this vendor. Okay, also I can preview my invoice from invoice journal, which is not shown here. Okay, I must see it here. So this is my invoice. It is showing me 50,000 amount here, so it is not showing me the splitted amount. So then for the sake of the details, I will go to the vendor form and select this vendor. Okay, so this was the first vendor, and I can go to the invoice action pane and go to the settle transactions. Okay, so in the settle transaction, here you will see basically the invoice 200 which I have given the number is split into 20,000, 10,000 and 4,000 each installments, and you must be knowing how to pay these invoices. So basically the due date, as per the due date, these invoices are splitted, and same will be reflected in your aging. So once you want to go to the payment journal, you can go there, create a new payment journal. Okay, the same settlement form will be shown there once you selected the same supplier. Okay, and go to the settle transactions. Okay, so now you need to pay your first installment, and just mark it and select OK. So the installment is selected here. Debit your vendor and credit to your bank. So in this way we have completed also the payable side, and also you can do the same practice on like for example vendor invoice journal, or you can go for the sales order, which we have not covered. In the same way you can do the practice on this one. Thank you very much guys, and hopefully it was informative for you to be used, because mostly businesses they work like on the installment basis, like when they want to buy the machinery or they want to sell something like building or big assets, so they use this option very frequently. Thank you.